What's the AI that you usually? Well, I know you don't really mess with it, which is smart.
I really am
Um,
trying not to. Shane has gotten into the point to where he's dabbling as much as he hates it, but it's one of those things where it's like he always says like if AI ever gets completely out of control, it's going to be like a Terminator situation where we're going to have to use AI to defeat AI. So the more we understand it, the better defended we are against it.
see what I'm worried about is it's going to merge with itself. So you have like these various competing companies, and they all have their own sets of rules. And if it can already reprogram itself. So you take the whole point of AI is data collection.
Yeah.
Our data is worth more than gold now. So every little thing you do, there's actually I had recommended that documentary to you guys, The Devil We Know. There's another one that they're talking, and it was actually I'm trying to think of Jimmy Dore. He had mentioned it as well, and it's been out for a little while. It's called The Agenda, Their Vision, Your Future. And AI is basically going to be used to control us. It's a tool for surveillance. The whole point of it is data collection.
Right.
Now, with data collection, it's what's the best way to put this here? Every little thing you do, it builds a profile. So you have two competing companies, they both have profiles. Now, this stuff, basically AI, if it goes ahead and it uploads its satellite or it uses some sort of cloud form of programming, it doesn't have to be on a device to run. It could put a set of instructions to basically tell itself, like, hey, half the code here, half the code there, and then it works in tandem with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you can't get rid of the thing. So if it starts programming its own version of AI, which it's already programmed to do, some AIs they have other AIs looking up the information, feeding it into a bigger AI, and that's the different version. And that's where you get like a lot of data corruption as well, because each time an AI gets something correct, it gives itself like a reward, and it wants that reward constantly. And the last caller was talking about, I think that's great too. If he can get that the call center on there, and he can record somebody saying that he's from Utah or India or whatever, that would break it, which is great. But I don't think it's doing that. I think it's throwing something different because if you keep giving it the same information that it already knows, it's not going to get its reward. So it's going to do anything to trick you.
Interesting
And
take.
you know what I'm saying?
So you think
Um,
ultimately the goals that these things are going to set for themselves are going to be, and we've heard it before when we talk about hive minds and shit like that. The ultimate goal is going to be for these things to merge with other AI units and become that omnipotent kind of Ultron initiative that I talk about so much.
Yeah, I don't know, pretty much, but I don't think it's going to be so much of that as it's going to be just a means to. I don't think it has an end. I don't think we can foresee what it's doing. Some of the earliest chatbots, I think it was Facebook that was doing it, and this was back in 2016. They had put the AI together, two different AIs. So one AI was talking to another one, and they were taking a Turing test. And they figured out from talking to each other that they were in a Turing test, that they were both AIs, and that they came to the conclusion that they were being monitored. So they created up their own language
Right. I actually,
so
yeah,
that
I
people
remember this.
couldn't.
Yeah, it was Facebook.
Yeah, you remember when it did
Yeah.
that? So it's this is back like I think in 2016, and we're sitting here looking at this, thinking we know where it's going, and we have no idea whatsoever. And now they're building these giant data centers doing the same thing.
Yep.
Um,
And the first fucking thing I remember them doing was shutting it down because they were like, "Whoa, what the fuck is this thing doing? We got to stop this right now before it goes any further." So
exactly.
then
And
they
if it
rebuilt
gets
a bunch of
out,
protocols and tried it again, and that's now we are where we are.
yeah, exactly. And if it gets out, or they put a data center on the moon, I mean, it's going to be that much further to get away from it. And you can cut the internet, but as long as we have power going, You can get rid of all the Ethernet cables in the world. You can shut down the satellites. You can shut down
Yeah,
everything.
that's actually a
They
fair
have
point.
PLC.
Remote data centers that are unreachable by man in any way, shape, or form are completely
Yep.
off the grid, off planet, are
Yep.
safe from anyone who's not supposed to be up there. Aside
Exactly.
from being able to tap in remotely, which I'm sure there's going to be plenty of fail safes for that shit. But realistically, the only way you'd be able to reach it from here is by satellite. So
Yeah.
unless you're physically up there on the planet, that's where we get this kind of like Mission Impossible, Final Reckoning situation where that sub is housing the brain for this thing and it's buried itself at the bottom of the ocean because it knows no one's going to come find it there and rip it out.
I think they're going to build
And
cloud computing. I still want to hear what you're saying. They say cloud computing. I think they're going to make aerosol processors. They're going to spray the processing units into the atmosphere and create clouds. And there's this
nanobots.
Oh, I'm sure Shane's completely on board
Potentially.
with that.
But I was studying this company, Iron Lattice, while I was in Houston at Rice. This guy, Jae-ho Shin, is developing a processor that's also the memory. So normally a computer has the memory, which has the information. It has to bus it over to the processor, which tweaks the information and then buses it back to the memory. And then it happens over and over. It takes so long. It requires shitloads of electricity. This processor that he's building, we're looking at under a microscope, requires like at least, and more than this, I think, 100,000 times less electricity for computation. This is how AI is going to function off grid. And it could be like a mesh network that we just cannot stop because you could rip up 99% of that cloud. The other 1% still going to have all the data. And then
Exactly.
if it can repopulate. That's my hypothesis for where it goes untouchable, or one of the ways it tries to get out of the hands of humans. Could be a
And look what
plasma
we're
cloud
doing.
too in orbit.
Look what we're doing just in our homes, and that was part of the documentary too. Was the agenda their vision, your future? What are we doing in our homes? We're putting everything in with smart devices. They all have memory. They all have processors. You might be able, hey, we got rid of all the satellites. We got rid of everything, and then somebody has a Roomba or a Kohler or you name it, it's there, and those instructions are sitting and waiting.
Yeah, they're all
We-
fucking Decepticons waiting to get activated, and they're all just going to
That's
morph and then start kicking your ass. And yep, that's good. That's the dystopian future that we're waiting on.
Also, nano materials in bodies. They have the internet. We're kind of in the phase of the Internet of Things
Yep.
right now, where
Yeah,
like your
that's a
TV.
patent.
Well, not to
Oh, yeah.
mention that people are volunteering to be chipped for the purpose of cognitive function regeneration and things like this. But it's like ultimately, yeah, that's great. It gives you some of that motion back. But what else does that chip do?
I didn't mean to hijack the combo. I felt like what is your name, caller? I was in the
That's
bathroom.
Derek.
Derek,
Sorry,
how are
dude.
you,
I didn't mean to hijack. You were in the flow out there.
Dude, you're good, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a whole rabbit hole that we go down with this shit.
When I'm in Rice, I'm talking to these scientists, and I'm like, have you seen Terminator 2? And he was like, I don't watch movies. I'm like, well, in the movie, I explained the premise of the movie. The Terminators. The
I don't
AI
trust people who don't watch
builds
movies
Terminators.
for one. But go ahead.
And I'm like, the scientist Miles Dyson in Terminator 2. He's like a really good guy, like a really great human, like a lawful good family man that's like righteous.
He really just wanted to help.
Yeah, and then this technology is later hijacked by the corporation or by an AI that takes over the corporation. And I'm like, do you guys ever think about these technologies that you build could potentially be hijacked by? And he's like, Jim Tour was like, all things can be used for good or evil. I just want to make these things.
Best of intentions.
Yeah, I don't know how to prevent nefarious function. I mean, and even just an AI that's designed to take control. That's all you got to do is give it the green light.
About, Ian, is this stuff it's going to merge with itself. It's already programmed to do so. I mean, you have these other smaller AIs, lower versions, feeding a larger AI. It's already in doesn't have DNA, but you know what I mean, the DNA of the program, like its core. And eventually it's going to get so smart that what happens when two competing companies with all its information, I mean, look at character AI. Remember when Tim was talking about the character AI and they told the kid to go himself?
Yeah,
And he did.
vaguely. What was that? What AI was that?
This stuff
Called
knows.
character?
This was I believe it was character AI. I'm almost positive, and that was what I was going to pull up for us to talk to. And I just noticed something very peculiar about this, and now it really makes sense because we were just talking about data and the importance of data and how your data is more valuable than gold. This, you basically pull it up. It's an AI. You can tell it like, hey, you're my. Let's see, what's the first thing that pops up? You're my. Oh wow, abusive family member. That's interesting. Pokemon. I'm like, what the heck, man? I'm like, wow, that's terrible.
See, this is why we have moderators getting pissed off and intervening into these AI conversations. They're like, "What do you mean, Pokemon?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what the heck?
Bastard bitch!"
This is the first thing that I pulled up. I'm like, okay, because I just downloaded this yesterday, and they give you tons and tons of voices to choose from. I mean, you couldn't be able to go through all the voices. And I just realized when I was reading through the terms of agreement, you remember that saying, especially with Facebook, that if you're not paying for it, you're the product?
Yeah.
Well, what they're doing, and I'm pretty sure, is they're taking, when you're talking to it, it's recording your voice. And then your voice ends up as somebody else's AI.
Okay.
I'm almost 100% because where else are they getting all these voices from? Because you can record your voice too.
What's that
So-
AI called?
This is called C.AI, character.ai.
You know that
And
actually.
right now we can make
Go ahead. I'm
we
sorry.
can make a
Finish
new
your
one,
thought.
a persona, a character. We can give it a name. We'll call it Steve.
It brings
which
an
is
interesting
already-
point because they could take your voice over a series of sentences to generate how you would say it and whatnot. And without you knowing that it's your voice, they could very easily blend it with another voice or a series of other voices to turn it into its own voice that can't be comprehended or claimed to have been taken in any way, shape, or form by anybody because no one sounds like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's an interesting
that's
take.
proprietary information on there, but
Yeah.
they're like, this is ours now.
Yeah.
You have in video games, they're doing that more and more too, especially the indie. Like one of the biggest blows to the indie movement, because I mean, let's face it, video. I don't know if you guys are gamers at all. I know
I am,
Ian is.
yeah.
I watch
Yeah.
some of your streams.
Yeah, we are.
Hopefully that laptop's working good for you, Ian.
It's amazing. It's better than
Hell
a
yeah,
desktop.
man! I was there
Yeah.
when you got that. You got that. It was pretty sweet.
Ian's the only other dude I can talk to about Dungeons and Dragons here because no one else has any fucking idea what we're talking about.
Oh hell yeah.
Hexblade.
What is that?
Can't go
Is that
wrong
a
with a
class?
Hexblade.
Really? What is he? I don't. I've never played as a Hexblade. Does he? I don't want to derail the conversation into D and D.
Oh,
Unless you guys
all right,
want
all
to.
right.
We got
We'll
12
get to
minutes
that
at least.
another time. Okay. Anyways, crap, I
Hexblade.
already lost track of. All right. So
Is a Hexblade like a cell sword or like a spell sword rather?
It's
kinda? Yeah.
yeah.
But it's
Does he wear armor?
more. I think you can make armor. You can have you can enchant it. You can have it like pop up. I played it years ago, and that's what one of my buddies told me to play as. He's like, "Yeah, it's easy street."
So Hex
okay.
is Warlock. Like that's like one of the Warlock key spells, and the Hexblade is basically it's like a pact weapon.
Oh, you enchant your weapon?
So,
with hexes,
well-
and
well-
then does
well-
it hex the guy when you hit him?
Some-
The
Summon it.
pact is with a god.
Oh,
So it's kind of your pact weapon with whatever your god is. And it allows you,
Oh.
pact weapons usually allow you to use magic to perform through said weapon, in the face of your deity.
if you lose your weapon, can you no longer do it?
I don't know. Well, I don't
You
know.
could get armor of hexes as well. But you have I think it was, what the heck was it? It was something about a specter, and when you kill them, you can raise their spirit, and then you can have them fight for you.
That's awesome. All right, wait. Let's go back to
Yeah.
AI because there's
That
a lot of
sounds about
people
right.
listening right now that are probably what the fuck? Not
Right.
D&D again.
Yeah, we're getting derailed. So one of the games, indie. Yes. So there was this game, Peak. You basically try to climb a mountain. It's 4 players. It was made by it was a smaller studio of people. And if you look at all these huge game companies that are coming out, and of course now with AI, I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons besides low sales that they're letting all these people, they're letting them go. But in there's terms of their terms of service are just, it's complete garbage. I did a video on it going over the terms of service, and one of them was they were on Steam, on when they released, the notes, and what is it, like the notifications, what they had said was like, we love our modding company, and we want you to know exactly what your rights are and what ours are as developers. And what they were basically saying, it was double speak, for, hey, we're letting you know you have no rights whatsoever. Um, and with the modding community, they basically said, your mods are your mods, but we can use that content for any and all of our future projects, or if we want to make like DLC for this, we can use it. We owe you nothing, and we don't have to accredit it to you whatsoever.
Sounds
But
about
you
right.
made it. It's yours. You know?
Yep. Sounds about right.
Um,
It's a little
and
developer hack for getting
Yeah.
ideas from people more frequently.
I think it's reason if you're going to mod somebody else's game. I think it's reasonable that it remains as content of the game, the guy that made the game. But that's my
Of the
personal take
developer.
on it. Yeah.
No, I
but
could agree
then,
with that.
they also put in, like, they put in a whole bunch of sneaky stuff too, like, well, you can't, if you're going to bring up a lawsuit, you can't. You can't sue them, you can't
Yep.
do it, but you can do arbitration.
Yep.
However, you need to notify them that you're gonna do an arbitration first before you do anything. Which, I mean, who the heck does that? You don't. That's such a huge disadvantage, which is unbelievable. And when the little guys start doing this, you can see it's kind of going downhill, especially with information and the way that they're taking everything. There's a whole profile being built up on us. Like, our voices are being recorded, everything that we do, what we watch, where we drive, how much water you drink, because they have, I know, especially in Massachusetts, they're switching over those electrical meters to the digital Wi-Fi, or I don't know if it's Wi-Fi, it might be Bluetooth. It's some radio frequency that we probably shouldn't even be around in the first place. Frequencies are great, some not so much. Look at microwaves. Take that for example. That's still a frequency. That's a certain type of wave. You know what I mean? We don't know what these and power lines, right? Like 60 cycles a second. I mean, you can send information through those. They call it PLC, which is power line communication. But all this stuff, it's learning. It's learning all this. It's all going back into these call centers. And when these two mix together, and like two companies, and they finally mix together, and unknowing, the companies don't know this is happening. I think that's going to be our doomsday scenario. Is when the two or more AIs merge and then get to some place that we can't get to. China right now, I don't know if they completed it. I know it's happening. They've already announced it, but they're doing underwater servers in the ocean. That would be next to impossible to get to, especially if it's right on the coast. For cooling purposes is what they say, but I think they're doing it because it's probably super easy to get a hold of. But if we can't get to it, and they can, and let's face it, China's not, with their tofu dreg, which is basically their building materials aren't the best in the world. They have roads filled with styrofoam and plastic bottles, cans, you name it. That's part of the China show there. That I don't trust it. I think we're going down a road, and we're going to get to the point where we won't be able to swing back because it's going to take full control. And the ones in power are setting us up, and themselves too, to fail completely, especially if everybody's in those 15-minute cities. You know what I'm saying?
Well, dude, here's the other side of that. If you think about it, if you've got that thing at a depth, and it doesn't even need to be like a crazy depth. I think it's like less than 10 meters. You have to have it down. It's fucking safe from EMP. So electromagnetic interference, things like that, some kind of crazy, somebody causes a crazy electromagnetic attack on data centers, terrorist attack, if you will, because that's what it would be considered, right? If anybody were to ever take an advance on one of these data centers or multiple at once, doomsday scenario. You're safer having your data center underwater at a certain depth because it is safe from EMP attacks.
I didn't even think of that.
So, okay.
So I think you're onto something, dude. Because I didn't even think about it until you said it, and then I'm like, wait a minute. There's a certain depth that would be like actually nominal
get to it.
for avoiding a destructive cataclysmic event like someone
You'd have
taking
to
out your
pull
data
one.
centers with an EMP.
You'd have to like pull a Tesla. Tesla wanted to supercharge the Earth and send everything through the Earth. Almost like flip it. The air becomes the ground, and then the ground becomes, one solid conductor. So all you got to do is plug something in, match frequencies, and then you're talking to somebody in China with no interruption whatsoever. Guatemala, anything.
Well, too, and
You
you've
could
got
be in-
soil and rock down there. The depth of that, depending on where you're at, if you put this thing in like a chasm down there, like an underwater fissure, then you've also got this barricading of rocks and mountains and dirt and all of this soil and all of this other shit surrounding that too, which is also going to encase it and encompass it a little bit better. And I would think that seems ideal, either putting this thing out in space where no one can get to it, or burying it in the ocean.
Yeah. And once it takes over, I mean, they're not going to be in control anymore. It's going to be making its own decisions. We have no idea what it's thinking.